Welcome to our podcast. This is Flip and Danny, co-founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies.
And this is, you always crack me up at the beginning, this is our podcast, Real Talk, which is Real Talk for Real Estate Investors. And this is episode number 10.
And this is audio only, so what you don't see is me holding up all my fingers.
But we're totally going to have pictures of everybody that's here because our topic is the FREG Four behind the scenes. And what we mean by that is we invited Betty and Tiffany, who essentially helped us start and build this company. I'm just going to say it like that because it's true, and you're going to find out.
From the ground up.
That's right. You're going to find out all the behind-the-scenes stuff that they've helped us with to get to where we are today. So thank you, Betty and Tiffany, for being here with us today. Say hi, because it's audio only. Yeah, they can't even say. They can't see you. So we've got like 5 questions. That's actually going to turn into like about 10 because there's some segmented questions, right?
Yep.
So we're going to start with Betty. Will you introduce yourself? Tell us about who you are, what you do as a company, add anything that you want.
Well, my name is Betty, and I'm in the front office administrative assistant. I've been happily married for 12 years to my husband, Wesley, and we have a bunch of fur babies that keep us busy.
Wait. A bunch. Now, that's more than 2 or 3. You actually have 8.
We have 8 fur babies, and actually Tiffany knows every one of them by name.
I do. Macy, Gracie, Lacey, Harley, Cody, Pooh Bear, Precious, and Angel.
Boom!
But what I always love is we've got 3 dogs, and I always go, Sporty, no, Bailey. I would go through the names, so I would just love to see Betty yelling at one of her dogs and going through 7 names before getting to me. I would just love to see that.
And we do that on a daily basis.
Sorry, continue.
Awesome. I'm sorry we totally cut you off. So anything else that you want to share? Okay.
We're good.
Okay. You're good. All right. Tiffany?
I'm Tiffany. I'm the transaction coordinator. I actually work in operations as well, and I work for, I really truly only work for 3 companies, but I think I work for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many there are, but there are quite a few.
More than 3.
So randomly I'll work for all the other ones. I am married. I've been married for it'll be 6 years next month. My husband works at the title company that we use, and so does my mother-in-law.
No
So I
way.
get to work with them very, very closely every single day, which has been really fun. We have a 16-month-old. Her name is Agnes. She is
Human?
She is like the Freedom human mascot.
Yes.
She sure is.
She's been, she was born in the pandemic, so she was on every single team meeting for the first year, 13 months of her life. So she became like another part of the office, which was cool. But she's now back at daycare. We're good.
And she's special guest star in my Friday Funny.
She special guest stars in Betty's Friday Funnies.
Yes.
And, yep, she's well liked here at the office.
Yes.
I think everybody thinks it's their baby.
They do. I've heard that quite a lot, actually.
Except for you and I.
Tiffany's our baby, and then Agnes is her baby.
Wait, is that your grandbaby?
She's our grandbaby. Right? I'm a papa. All right.
That's all I got.
Okay, so I'll add a couple things. Number 1, Betty also probably works company-wide, right? You really serve our entire family of companies. And Tiffany, you missed so you're a private money manager as well, like you handle all of our lenders.
I didn't know which title to give.
I know, right? Yes, and Betty's like just the extraordinaire of what you usually call yourself something. Isn't there something that you kind of say, I do it all, I do...
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, yes.
Yeah.
So the other thing was, between the 2 of you, Flip and Tiffany, you might remember that certificate or whatever.
I was just getting ready to say that.
Okay.
I don't know what the title is, but I don't know how it even started, but before I started working here a few years ago, Flip set up my office with a random sign on it that had like executive, administrative, transaction, coordination, manager, it was like 7 or 8 or 10 words long. It was crazy.
Actually the executive, transaction, administrator, coordinator, There's another C in there, though. Maybe chief coordinator officer at Akako. I remember, so it's still on my phone.
So it's hanging on my whiteboard in my office still. I do still have that. I need to start using that as my real title. You know?
Yeah, it fits now.
Yeah.
Well, I think the bottom line is you guys make our world go round in this family of companies. So thank you for all you do, and that's kind of what I wanted to share. Is like you guys do it all. You are not one thing. You are all things to everybody all the time. And if people have questions, guess who they go to?
It's true.
Tiffany and Betty.
Yeah.
All right. Am I doing question number 2? No, you're doing question number 2. It's all you, Flip.
All right, so I'll let you decide who wants to go first between the two of you. You've both worked with us pretty much since we came to Ohio in 2015. That was Danny's introduction to Ohio.
Yes.
So that Tiffany started, you started working with us in 2016. So actually, Tiffany, tell us about the beginning and what was that like?
Yeah, so in the beginning,
There was a word.
in the beginning, I had no experience. I was a nanny. I didn't know what real estate was. So actually, and this is maybe on topic still, but when I interviewed with Danny, what she gave me was a list of real estate terms. So I was basically doing like vocabulary lessons leading up to starting this job. I don't know if it helped, but at least it gave me like the lingo, you know, and I felt like I was doing something. So I had no idea what anything was. I came to be Danny's assistant. That didn't last long. I was moved to somewhere else in the company, but I started as Danny's assistant, and we shared an office. It was actually the break room, so there was a fridge in there. People would bother us all day long because they wanted a water or a soda or whatever.
And the room was maybe 10 by 10.
It was very small.
Not a very big room.
I was practically on Danny's lap. So we shared an office, and since I knew nothing, it was really cool because if you've been listening to all these podcasts, you know how fast Danny talks. So she talks, we like to say on 1.25 speed, if you're listening to, you know, an audiobook or something. And so she would have all these calls with clients and private lenders, and it was seriously like drinking from a fire hose, just listening to her talk. So I learned basically all my knowledge just sitting in Danny's office, which is really cool, and something I don't think a lot of people get to do, is just sit in someone's office and just learn by listening. I met a lot of team members there that I enjoy working with. You know, the 4 people in this room, obviously, and then Tina, another team member, who I think that was it that all worked together at that time. But, you know, I got to work with all of these people and meet them. We obviously transferred over to this turnkey company, and, you know, when I left the previous job that I was at, you know, I told Danny, I'll work for you forever. And when you guys are ready, you hire me. And so when we were both ready, they hired me.
And we were super excited. You were like, are you available? Would you like to go work with us again?
It was the best job interview I've ever had. I always joke with people, you know, the interview process is not fun, right, for anybody. It's awful to come into a job interview. And I literally was like, so here's what I want to do. And here's what I want. And I'm excited to start. When can I start? I mean, it was literally, you know, here's what we're going to do, and let's do it.
Yes.
So it was really cool.
We're super, super excited.
Okay, so thank you so much, Tiffany. So now, Betty, we met you when we were working with that other company in 2015. We got here in November of 2015. Again, Danny's first time ever to Ohio. We were one of the first people that she meets. So tell us about the beginning. Might want to talk a little louder. Didn't do that.
Well, like you said, back in 2015 is when I met both of you. I was working at another real estate company, and you all come on, and we were in like a tight-knit section, and like Tiffany was saying, we would holler back and forth to each other and talk across the room, and we all had a good time. And then eventually you went off and got it formed your own turnkey company.
I remember that.
Yes, and I remember the day you all left. I'm like, Don't forget me.
You're like holding onto our ankles as we're like, shake you off. You're like, stop it, Benny.
Dragging her out of the office.
And I remember when we started it, you were our first phone call.
Yep.
Very first phone call. And we said, hey, can you and Wesley come and meet us? Because we'd love to talk to you about what we're doing. And so I think we met at Tim Hortons, right?
Tim Hortons,
Yeah. And you brought Wesley along. I felt like Wesley was there to beat us up if we did not give you everything that you wanted, because we loved you and you had a lot of great questions. It was a fun time to talk through it. I actually thought during that meeting, you probably don't even know this, that you weren't going to take the job. You're like, you guys are brand new, just starting your own company by yourselves. Like, can you pay me? Can you afford me? Where are we going to work? It's like we were getting grilled.
And look, here we are 3.5 years later. And
Yes.
It's
And the funny
so
thing is I actually said this on a previous podcast or recording of some sort. We actually didn't have the meeting in our house saying, I think we need to hire somebody. I think we need to bring on an employee. No, we said, all right, we need to bring Betty on.
And it was,
It wasn't a we need to hire somebody. It was we need to hire Betty.
Mhm.
That was what it wasn't. There wasn't a question.
Well, I'm glad you did.
I just have one question.
Okay.
Betty got donuts at her first interview?
oh, what did
Well,
we do?
it was actually-
We actually
Because
just
I
had-
didn't.
Oops.
Thanks for noticing that. But you said, that at the previous company it was a tight-knit kind of a situation. What I think you meant to say it was 3 very small offices with walls that are paper thin. So we didn't have to holler at each other through the doors. We could holler it through the walls.
Yes, we could.
Yeah, that was a very unique office situation.
It was fun. I'm thankful for it because we wouldn't be here today
Exactly.
without that happening in our lives and that
Exactly.
path that we went on. So
Exactly. Our paths wouldn't have crossed.
that's right. So I am very, very appreciative. Well, actually, number 3 was you, right?
Oh, that's right. I'll continue.
Man, you're screwing us up.
I'll continue.
All right.
Normally you take the odd questions.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So since that time and where we are today, what do you think were the biggest challenges?
Betty, I'll let you take this one.
Okay, well, one of my biggest challenges, I believe, is the growth and keeping everything going smoothly each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
Going from just 1 to 2 employees to 12 to 15 employees. It's it's a lot to deal with every day to make sure everything's going smoothly and everybody has what they need to, continue their day.
Yeah, especially for you because you welcome them all. Right?
Yes.
And I never know how many people are working with us. I check Slack, the FREG channel, to see how many people. And I'm like, we have over 40 people! And we've lost quite a few too, right? So can you imagine how many people you've made welcome signs for?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just thinking of all your welcome signs.
I know.
How many balloons we've gone through?
I know.
Yeah, we were just like blowing up the balloons and then we would pop them. But now we're saving them
Good.
because we're hiring so many people.
Saves on money.
You're saving money.
Yes, saving money, and then the next time someone comes in, and if we have like 3 starting at one time, we put the balloons up all in one spot. But just know if we have one starting this week and one starting next week, well, then the first person I set up the balloons, I have to go steal the balloons to set up for the following week. And I tell them, well, you're old news now, so we've got some more people coming in.
And before we get to Tiffany, the biggest challenges, I still like one of the funniest stories was one of our rehab coordinators who was the biggest guy in the world. In fact, his nickname was Big Country. And so if you've worked here, you know who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But he confronted Betty and just said, I didn't get balloons. And so we had so many balloons in his office the next day. It was the funniest thing. I didn't get balloons.
And we took pictures so everybody could see.
Yeah, it's become a Betty tradition.
Yes.
All right, Tiffany, what do you think were the biggest challenges?
So I wrote down a few. Finding reliable rehab crews for these properties has been just an ongoing struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a lot better right now, knock on wood, but we are, that has been an ongoing struggle. keeping Danny from forming another company. That is,
Yes.
Harder than the
I just heard whispers of a company that we need, and I was like, shut it down. Well, actually, we came up with a name for it, but then we shut it down.
And you guys didn't even tell me.
Oh, no.
Very short-lived.
And then just staying on top of everything that we're doing. So, as we're growing and expanding, it's really hard to, like we can't even figure out what my job title is. It's hard. It's hard for anybody in this company to know exactly what their job title is because everybody just pitches in where they need to. And that's a great thing about our culture. It's fantastic, but just making sure that we can stay on top of that, provide the same level of service to our clients, the same appreciation to our team members, and then just still have fun and enjoy what we're doing. It can be a challenge, so it's something we continue to work on.
Yeah, those are good ones.
All right, so Betty, what do you think were our biggest successes?
Well, the biggest our success would be how fast we've grown in a short time with the amount of companies and the team members that we have now compared to back in 2018 when it was just one company and it was just Tiffany and I.
Those were the days.
It wasn't hard for our communication back then.
It wasn't.
In fact, I think most of the time we spent in Bettyland, right? As soon as I know you're going to bring this up, but as soon as we started the company, we were in one place, but we got the office, and then we called it Bettyland, or the front.
Yeah.
And that's where, we would just all hang out.
Everybody, all the time.
Yeah.
And the
Anytime
second
you walk down there,
the second you'd hear one person talking to somebody else, they must be media.
everyone comes out of their office. Betty never got any work done because she was like, guys.
That's true, man. That's funny.
All right, Tiffany, what do you think were our biggest successes?
I think through everything, through all the growth that we've experienced and all the bad that we've experienced, which I'm sure you've talked about in past vlogs and podcasts and just nightmare things that we've had go on, we're still constantly laughing. We're still constantly happy to come to work. We are, we have our core values and our commitment to the team. And you guys always say it, team first, the team is most important to you because we're like your children, apparently your grandchildren. But, we've kept that commitment to our team and our core values first still. There's ups and downs all the time, right, in any company, but we've always come back to that.
Yeah.
And this is what's important and this is what's first. And just to still be able to laugh every time I come in the office I love it.
Well,
big deal.
And I'm going to change things up here a little bit because I know Betty likes everything to be organized, so I'm not going to do that. Well, you just touched on it, just that you come in and laugh. I can be in my office with my door shut, with my music playing, headphones on, and I can still hear your laugh. And I'm like, Tiffany's here!
Yes, I do the same thing. I'm like, Tiffany's here!
That's because I'm in Jeff's office right across the hall.
You're across the street.
And I just told Danny the other day, I said, you all always talk about Tiffany's laugh because she's got the funniest laugh. But I said, Danny, you've got the cutest laugh also. So I can hear her laughing.
I don't want to laugh.
She's got the cutest laugh too. I was telling her that the other day. I said, I can hear you all the way up here with your door shut.
It's a giggle.
It's a giggle. It's going to be a giggle for the rest of this podcast now.
Well, Tiffany, you sort of touched on it. What do you think about the culture we've built, and how have you contributed to that culture? Because you have a very specific role.
Yes, well, I am the CFO. For those of you that I should have just introduced myself as that.
You should have.
Yes.
And for everyone that thinks that CFO has something to do with finances, you are wrong. The CFO is the Chief Fun Officer.
Yes.
When I was presented with this proposition to be the CFO, I was told it was a lateral move and there was no raise, pay raise. You can see my face right now. You know how I feel about that. But
We were new.
the lateral move. But anyway, so we joke that I'm the Chief Fun Officer, and I've been really passionate about making sure that everybody is happy and that everybody is having fun. To the extent it may be too much. Like I may be too much. So I am actually not allowed to be at the office every day of the week because nobody gets any work done. So the 2 days that I am in the office, because I do work from home part-time, but the 2 days that I am in the office, I think people are probably dreading them. Like that. You know, there's laughter in the office, but nobody's getting anything done. But I am very passionate about that, and, you know, planning events and different ways that we can bond. And we have an entire, you know, workforce in the Philippines that, you know, pulling them in and making sure that they feel included, and that they, it's something that is very, very passionate to me as well. So that's probably this year my biggest contribution has been making sure that we call them Team PH, but that they feel included, and they do.
Yes,
which is great.
They do.
Yes.
And thank you for that.
And I was just going to chime in saying the exact same thing, that we're always getting together for fun activities, and we always include the virtual team members. We could be doing this during hours, after hours, and even on the weekend. Now, one thing, we celebrate everyone's birthday by giving them the day off.
Yeah.
And that's
What?
Yeah. You didn't know?
No,
Flip?
not for you, Flip.
Yeah. And we celebrate everybody's work anniversary by spinning what we call the FREG wheel, where there's different prizes that we could win. It could be anywhere from a half a day off with pay, a full day off with pay, or either a $25 gift card.
Everybody's like rooting, right?
Oh, is it okay?
And you get a $250 bonus. You missed that one.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Amazon card.
Yes.
And I love getting the Amazon card.
I do too.
All right, so Betty, we'll let you go first on this one. What is one of your best memories since you've worked here, whether it was a prank or an event or anything at all?
Well, I wouldn't say, Flip, that I had just one favorite memory, because there's basically a memory made every day here.
Aww.
But right off the top of my head, I would have to say, when I started with you guys and worked out of your house in the dining room area, I couldn't leave my shoes off at the door after taking them off.
That's right.
I had to set them in one of the chairs because your fur babies thought they were a toy.
Yes, they did.
I remember each day going in, and I would have to get my desk ready, but then I'd always have to see where your babies were, where they were running, and make sure it wasn't nothing on the floor and nothing around them that they might get a hold to.
Yes, thank you, Miss Betty.
Just a side note. Okay, so it's not like Betty spent months on months on months in our. Well, actually, this is where Betty Land actually came from, because once she went in there to work, we could never call it a dining room anymore. It was Betty
Land.
And but it was only like 2 weeks that we were actually there before we got the office. So it's not like she was.
Was it 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was just the middle.
It was like 2 months.
Middle of November. Thanks
Betty,
a lot.
Yeah.
It was,
Betty, does he have that
Betty
right?
thinks it's 2 months.
it was middle of November.
Middle of November,
Yeah,
and we moved in the office
December 1st.
December 1st.
Oh, that's right.
Flip's right.
Yes.
Flip's right.
Everybody write it down.
Write it down. Thank you. Thank you
And
very much.
anyone that knows me knows I love Snoopy's. And my first day, I walked in, and I guess that's where the balloons and the banner started.
Yes.
Because Danny and Flip had me a banner across there that said, "Welcome, Betty."
Betty, exactly.
And balloons and a little Snoopy ornament to go on a Christmas tree.
We were so thrilled. That was one of the best days ever.
It was.
All right, Tiffany, what is one of your best memories since you've worked here, whether it was a prank or an event?
Oh man, I have so many. So when I saw event on this question, I thought, oh, easy event that was like is my favorite memory is our office retreat, our company retreat with Camp Counselor Ted. We
Boy,
made
he didn't know what he was walking into, did he? No.
He did
Poor guy.
not. We made so many memories and so many inside jokes that came out of that just are still on. I mean, Camp Counselor Ted, that's an inside joke. You know, it's still going on. And then just the way that we used to celebrate birthdays. So Betty said, you know, we give everyone the day off now, which is fantastic. And I am so big on time off. Like that's my favorite. You know, you give me anything, give me a day off.
Yes.
I love it. I might not use it, but I love it. But we used to celebrate our birthdays with a surprise. Like we would surprise the birthday person. You know, they had no idea. I'm doing air quotes because eventually the surprise is old and everybody knows it's coming. Like, oh, my birthday, someone's taking me to lunch. Oh, I'm going to walk back into a party. Like, you know, so we stopped doing that. Obviously, there's a point where you outgrow that, and it's about 1 year. But, you know, we used to, yeah, the company's grown. You know, we'd be doing a surprise birthday party
pretty much every week.
10 times a month. You know, it's crazy. So we obviously changed how we do that, but just the surprise parties, they were so much fun, and we were always so stressed. Like, we were so stressed about making sure it was set up, and that nobody knew about it, and that we got the cakes, and that we have everything set up, and Betty, do you have the balloons? You know, and just, it was so much stress, you know, but it was so fun. It was just like a time, we would get together for literally 10 minutes, and people would shove cupcakes in their faces, and then they'd go back to work. But, you know, for me and Betty, I think it was like an hour of stress for 10 minutes of fun. It was really cool. I do always love the way that we used to celebrate birthdays. And then we do have a little joke in the office about the office shuffle. You should never get too comfortable in your office, because Danny will probably start a new company, and then we'll probably hire people for that new company, and you will all move offices because we need to rearrange. Or, oh no, we need new offices, we need more. So we will, you should never get too comfortable, basically. My first day I came in, before my first day, I came in, I picked out an office. They said, you can have this one or this one. I picked out an office. Then they busted down some wall, you know, separating our offices, and they moved me to another office before I even came in.
Editors know we moved her to the bigger office.
It's true. It's true. But at our old office, I worked in, I think, 5 different offices, you know, in like a year and a half. So,
yes,
you know, even
that's accurate.
Yes. And here, I've already worked in 2 different offices.
And I was going to say, even now, I can hear 2 or 3 go down the hall, and they'll say, well, so-and-so's going in here with him. And they'll say, no, wait a minute, I believe so-and-so's going in there with him. So it's just like they're all moving around so quickly.
Yes.
But now we put names on the doors, so now we know where our office is.
I know, and that is seriously the biggest help, because people are still moving offices so much now. I'm just like, I'm going this way. I turn and I go, oh, Lauren. There's Chris. So I love the nameplates. And then I will add one thing, because every time I think of this culture piece, and I think of all of you guys, because you're the only person that hasn't moved offices, right? Betty Land is Betty Land forever and ever.
She gets Betty Land.
Yes.
Everyone else gets an office. She gets Betty
I was
Land.
just going to say, when Tiffany was talking about everybody has several different offices, but I've been
You're
the
the
same.
only one.
Only one. Same spot. I have to be up front to welcome everybody as they come in.
That's right.
With my southern accent.
That we love so much. There was a few things. Number one is now whenever we leave, we try to circle around and say hi to as many people as we can, but Betty's always our last stop because it's not on our way out. We're always asking for a story, because that's part of my, one of my favorite like end of day routines. So I'm gonna go see Betty, and she's either gonna be like, "Got nothing, have a great night," or I'm gonna get a good story. But Flip, you have 2 things that you always joke about with Tiffany. One is the extreme ownership thing. And the other one is the money.
The $6
thing.
The $6.
Yes. So you got to share.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, Extreme Ownership by Jocko. We read the whole company read the book, and we took it to the next level because something happened, and I talked to Tiffany about it, and I said, "That's okay. It's my fault."
It was my fault, though.
It was my fault, though.
It was mine.
It was actually my fault. This is still going on, but
that was 2019.
Yes.
By the way.
Yeah, but
I still feel guilt.
The $6 though actually goes back to 2016.
Subway.
And so I believe what happened was I bought Tiffany Subway, and I said I got it, and she said no, and she next thing I know there was $6 on my desk. And so then I had to figure out how to give it back to her. And actually, to this day, neither one of us know where that $6 is.
I don't know where. I think somebody got tired of it and they just took it from us.
And somebody said, "I'll take
And
it."
that was not me, by the way.
And so yeah, it's still a joke about the $6.
Well,
That's 5 years old. Yeah.
Some things never change, because just the other day, Flip and Tiffany went out the front door, and Flip says, I didn't ask Tiffany to go to lunch with me the other day, so I'm taking Tiffany to lunch.
And then Tiffany goes, "He's never paid for my lunch."
You know how many times times I've gotten away with that in this office with other people. I've had other people trained to ask me if they
Yes, you do.
That is funny. All right, so I'm going to go on to question number 4, even though we've gone through 10 questions already. This one is specifically tied to the culture piece because I know, Tiffany, you had given a great idea in one of our quarterly meetings, I think it was. And this plays a piece to the culture, but in a totally different way. So the question is, what are some of the ideas you've had on how the team can participate in what we do as a company, and what was a team's reaction to that idea?
So one of the biggest ideas that I've had, and I've pitched it a few times, a few different ways. It's not really panned out yet, but we are, working on it.
Yeah.
I've pitched it just a few different ways, as we grow what we're doing. But private money lending, obviously, we have so many private money lenders for our properties, and why doesn't our team just do it? Why don't we just put together some money and obviously figure out the legal way that we can do that and that it works? But why don't we fund the property and we get the interest and it keeps it in house? Because, like we said, our team comes first, and they're most important. So why shouldn't they benefit as well?
Yes.
From that? So. I think everybody that's heard about it has been like, yeah, that's a great idea. And yeah, I'm excited about it. And, it's just working out the logistics now, which everybody has time to work out logistics for somebody. So
is that the new company?
I don't know. They didn't tell me.
Oh no, I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, so that was, I think everybody that's heard about it has been interested in it for the most part. It's just kind of figuring out, how involved are they and how much are they involved and, things like that. But I know we've talked in the past about some other things. I don't know if it was Betty's idea or not, about some other ones, so I don't want to steal hers. Betty's looking at me like I did not have an idea. We've had ideas in the past about, people, our company buying a property together, team members buying a property together, then doing the rehab, then selling it and splitting the profit. All of it is about working out logistics, but they're great ideas that we can do, or rehabbing a home together for somebody else, or giving back in that way too. So
yeah, why I included that question in this podcast was because it was really cool that you brought something up that you understood the company and how we help other investors enough to go, hey, we can help our team the exact same way. Yeah. And why shouldn't we? Yeah. And that kind of brought a different perspective to the table of what we can do as a company and a culture and a team and stuff. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, no problem.
All right. Last question. Betty, and starting with you. We always like to joke with you and Tiffany that you guys can never, ever quit. We want to work together forever and ever and ever till your dying day. So how do you feel about where the company is going, what the future holds, and how you want to be a part of it so that you also have work-life balance and enjoy what you do for a living and the positive impact you have on the lives that you touch?
Well, first thing I'll say is I do want to work with you. With you, as you say. That's my favorite thing that you say that I appreciate, that you don't consider us employees, you consider us team members.
Yes.
But I do want to work with you forever and ever and ever to my dying day, because everybody that knows me knows that I love my job and that I love what I do. But I definitely think this company is going in the most positive way ever. I mean, we've grown and we're continuing to grow with the best team members ever. Everyone works together. It's never I in this company. It's always we. I love every aspect of what I do, and I love coming to work every day. I'm the oldest one here.
Not by much.
Now, I wasn't going to say that part, Flip, but I'm the oldest one here, so everybody calls me Mama Betty. So if you ever want to know where anything is, just ask Mama Betty, because 99% of the time I can tell you where it is, or I can point you in the right direction, or tell you who to go to find what you're looking for. So I would say that it's definitely going in the right direction.
I love it. Thank you. Tiffany, let's hear yours.
So Betty said that she wants to work with you until her dying day. I'm gonna stop somewhere before that and say my retiring day. Because I don't want to work till I'm 150. But yeah, I mean, we always joke about We can never. We literally were joking about before this podcast started about something that came up, and I made a fake quit date. But it's not going to happen. I'm going to be here.
We're going to borrow all the doors.
But I feel like the company is. With the company growing and with us doing so much more, at times it can be stressful, but at times it is like, we have a job. We have a job. We have job security. We know that this company is growing and that it's going to continue to grow, so I am going to continue to have work.
Right.
Which I love. I love how I know that I have a job. I know that I have, I know that I'm appreciated, and I know that, I have work-life balance too, which is so important, and I know you put that in there for me because it is my husband and I, it is the most important thing to us that we leave work and we are done with work. Do I change that a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. I get some messages from Danny, every now and then in the evening, and I just feel like I have to answer them even though she says stop. Or I'll check my email because it's a busy day. I just want to make sure I got everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still important to me that I can have dinner with my husband. I can have dinner, we can play, we can go outside and have playtime with our daughter. Mm-hmm. Danny and Flip wrote, and you guys wrote in my anniversary gift thing here recently that, for Agnes and all the other babies. I have a screenshot of that, just so you know, because you guys said I can just have so many.
Of course you took a screenshot
so many. I take screenshots of everything, guys. Just do it. Protect your behind.
Also, editors know it. I did not write that.
But, that's important to me. Family is important, and it's important to everybody I know, but work-life balance to me has been so important. It's also why I push it here on everybody else. We leave at 3 p.m. on Fridays. We just get out of here. Now, does everybody leave at 3 p.m.? No. Sometimes you have a busy week, but we try to get out of here. We try to do what we can. I might take a long extended break somewhere randomly through the week to play with my daughter if she's home with me. And then I kind of make it up somewhere else later on in the week. And maybe I work till 5 on Friday, like a normal person, like a normal person. But I do enjoy what I'm doing, and I want to keep doing this. So, we joke about it all the time about we can't ever quit, but I don't foresee that happening. Except for the date that we talked about before.
No. That was negated here live on this podcast, and it is fully recorded.
But I wanted to say, when you just said, how, you feel you love the job and job security, and Betty goes to put her key in the door at the last office, and it was the wrong key, but she immediately thought we had changed the locks on her, and then she was fired. So that's the environment that we.
I mean, there is a joke in the office about if you gets called into somebody's office, you need to bring your phone and your keys. and your folder. But it's a joke. Oh yeah, now it's a medium-sized box.
Now it's a medium-sized box. We've gotten bigger.
Yeah. I almost brought a medium-sized box to my meeting the other day, just for fun. But I don't think anybody truly feels that way. It's now just a joke, But anyway.
But I will add what you were saying about liking your job. That's the most important thing that I think about this company. You all consider us family and not just an employee.
Yep.
And that really means a lot, because after we're all gone, the company's still going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to take care of ourselves and our family first. And I do believe, that that's one main thing is the biggest part of it is considering family first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that you brought that up, because as much as Tiffany hates it, when I used to, at the very beginning, our quarterly planning, I would say, if something happens to Flip and I, and she would every single quarterly planning, she would be like, would you stop talking about you guys dying? And the goal is to show, hey, we do care about you guys. You guys are family to us. So if something happens to us, we want to make sure that we have all these plans in place. This is what's going to happen. Tiffany, you can sign for everything. Betty has access to all the bank accounts. Now you have even a different level. Tina will be able to take charge, essentially, if something happens. Like, all of that stuff is so important to us. And you guys have been here from the start. That's why we have this FREG Four behind the scenes podcast right now, because I truly believe you've helped build this company as much as we have. And thank you for everything you've done.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
No, thank you both.
Anything else for this podcast?
I think that wraps it up.
All right, behind the scenes, FREG Four.
Podcast number 10.
Podcast number 10 of Real Talk, which is Real Talk for real estate investors. And we always like to end our podcast with invest smart.
Live happy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific personal or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.